James Gunn's announcement, finally here. But is this news cause for joy or fear? Let's discuss. What's up, guys? How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Glad you stopped by. And if you're stopping by and you're one of the 60% that are watching but aren't subscribed, what you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Then go next door, ring that bell. Make sure it says all so you know when the next video pops up. Hit that like button. And before you head out, drop a comment down below. And if you're one of the regulars here, welcome back for another round. I hope that you also hit that like button. And before you leave, drop a comment. We know YouTube loves the comments. And of course, share the video out on all the socials. Oh boy, James Gunn has finally given us a look at Chapter 1 of what he and Peter Safran have planned for the DCU going forward. Now, his announcement was about 6 minutes long. I'm going to briefly go over what my thoughts on what he said were. Okay, so that being said, here we go. One thing I liked when James was talking about a unified universe, when he talks about the actors and actresses are going to be able to move through all parts, whether it be animation, gaming, TV, live action, so that if that actor is playing something on a live action film, if that character is brought into animation, it's the same actor. So you're not going to get an alternate version a la the CW. Let's just say you get multiple people playing Flash, or you get multiple people, and that's also a different voice for animation or video games. So you're gonna get the same person playing the same character in all facets. So I like that. It shows consistency, and it's a little cost effective too, because you're not paying multiple actors to play the same role. It's a smart move. Okay. He talked about the 4 holdover projects, and he spoke highly of them. Of course he is. He's going to. Okay? Some of you folks out there, and I'm going to address that later too, you lost your damn minds. This is to put a couple more butts in seats to possibly recoup something so the losses aren't as big. They know they're going to take a loss on these films. They're creative dead ends. They're not going anywhere. And I know a lot of you folks, because you heard The Flash as a reset point, your heads exploded. And I'll address that later on too. Shame on all of you. Okay, but I noticed something not only was said, but that wasn't said. And that was the J.J. Abrams Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman project. Okay. And it was further confirmed when he talked about Elseworld Tales. Now, this is a term used for DC Comics. It's kind of like their what if. So, Matt Reeves' Batman films, Todd Phillips' Joker film, the rumored Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves that's apparently still going forward. Those are Elseworld Tales. They are not a part of the DCU, and he said that these would clearly be noted as Elseworld Tales, so there's no confusion. That's a good thing. Now we're going to start to get into the meat of this, and he talks about the creature commandos. Okay, never heard of these characters before, but that animation looks pretty cool. Obviously, this is definitely a James Gunn project, because we saw the Weasel in there as well. Could be fun. Could be cool. I'm fine with it. And then we talked about Waller, where Amanda Waller with Viola Davis is going to be working with Team Peacemaker. Now, I personally didn't watch the Peacemaker show. I can't stand John Cena, so I'm not gonna watch it. But this was already in this was already set in motion prior to James Gunn being CEO of DC Studios. So this leads me to believe that this was always going to happen, and they're just letting it go. They're just gonna roll with it, possibly as an Elseworld tale as well, because of what he said next. He said, "This is a big one. The true start of the DCU." Let me say that again. The true start of the DCU. Not the Flash. Oh, God. Now, and this is Superman Legacy. And this, again, this is where the real DCU starts. And from what I've heard from some of the trades here and there, stuff I've gleaned, that Superman is going to embody truth, justice, and the American way. Yes! Yes! And we've kind of seen some of this because James Gunn on his Twitter account has posted a lot of like Richard Donner images of Superman. That's a good thing. And the fact that he said this contradicts the fact that he said that this is the true start of the DCU contradicts everything he said about a reset using the Flash. Keep that in mind. Okay, next, a TV show called Lanterns. He's going to be using Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I think this is a very smart move because most folks who are younger than me, Jon Stewart is where they got introduced to the Green Lantern. So this is an excellent move. This is a very smart move. It's apparently a buddy cop type of story where he used a comparison to True Detective. I've never seen that show. If it's anything like Lethal, if it's anything like Lethal, the Weapon, all for it. Let's go. Next was he talked about a project called The Authority, and he said this is going to be his passion project, kind of code for I'm writing it and I'm going to direct it as well. I don't know anything about these characters from what I've gleaned just a little bit. These are superheroes where their kind of mantra is the ends justify the means. They get the job done by any means necessary, including killing. Kind of dark. I'm intrigued by this, so I'm fine with that. Then we went to Paradise Lost, which is going to be a kind of an origin story of Paradise Island, how the Amazons got their home of Themyscira, and he said it's going to be a Game of Thrones type of feel. But which Game of Thrones? Are we talking the gratuitous nudity, or are we talking about the gratuitous violence? From the image that we see, I'm leaning more toward the violence. And then comes my first red flag. Only two red flags. Batman, Brave and the Bold. As I said, this is my first red flag, simply for the fact that I can't stand Damian Wayne. Not a fan of him. I heard, what was it? Andre from Midnight's Edge compared Damian Wayne to a homicidal Wesley Crusher. Okay. And this is part of the problem that Marvel got, because they bypassed a lot of stories. So you bypass Dick Grayson, you bypass Jason Todd, you bypass Tim Drake. This could be the first mistake that James Gunn makes. Just being fair here. And then we came to another series called Booster Gold. This could be hilarious. We're talking about a heroic, lovable loser who's just fun to be around. I mean, a lovable loser, Chris Pratt, anyone? I'm just saying. And then we come to the second red flag, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Okay, where she's jaded and cynical. I suppose I could create a kind of interesting, as she interacts with Kal-El, a kind of interesting sibling rivalry kind of thing, because Superman is, from what James said, is going to be this paragon of goodness, and just that little dig at him through his cousin. if this is the approach, this girl still needs to be done right, because this could really draw in a lot of female viewers as well, which kind of the DC universe, they they're definitely not the MCU, which is a good thing too. And then finally, Swamp Thing. Oh, sign me up for that, because this is a, he said this is going to be have take a darker tone. Could we possibly get a Justice League Dark team up at some point? John Constantine, Matt Ryan, please. So that's what he said. That's going by what James Gunn said, and were just my thoughts on this. So my final thoughts on this. I mean, out of 10 titles, 2 red flags, 8 out of 10. Let's go. I'm fine with this. And finally, there are a lot of folks out there who I respect. I've subscribed to their channels, and I generally agree with most of their takes. But guys, in your thumbnails, when in titles like, you talk about Ezra, and there's a picture of Ezra, James Gunn, Henry Cavill, or is the DCU DOA kind of thing. My God, you guys. I want to play one thing, and this is James Gunn's own word, and I want to reiterate because I've repeated it a few times, but I want you guys to hear this. Let me pull this up here real quick. And again, this is James Gunn in his own words.
People to see. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by...
The true beginning of the DCU, which contradicts the flowery narrative he gave to the 4 holdover projects. These are dead ends. They mean nothing. He's going to say nice things to get a few more butts in some seats so the losses aren't as big. And this all stems from one thing, guys. You could raise flags on all the Henry Cavill hard-ons out there. Henry's doing just fine. He'll be good. And I think James Gunn has earned the benefit of the doubt going forward. Let's see what he has. Let's see what he has to show us. And if it's bad, roast him appropriately. But don't crucify the guy before we've seen 1 minute of anything he has. But these are just my thoughts. I'm going to turn it back over to you now. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And again, check me out later today along with a host of other nerdy folk on Friday night's Royal Rumble over on Legion Talk, which will be 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And until Monday for last week's news now, I'll see you then. But before you go, remember, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, hey, thanks for sticking around this long. Drop a comment, share the video, and I'll see you Monday for last week's news now. Until then, guys, have a great weekend. Always have fun. Hashtag keep talking. And always keep that smile on your face.